Hello, and in this training video we will go over setting up, posting, and troubleshooting your ERA auto postings from ClinicAid within Revolution EHR. To get started, we're going to go over this setup. To enable your payment automation, you want to access your admin area. It looks like 3 gears. On the left, select General, Practice Preferences, and towards the right, select Additional Preferences. Within this first accounting section, I just wanted to go over your setting for payment by line items. Regardless of this setting, your auto posting process will always post payments by line item. You can change this setting as necessary, but it will not affect the line item posting from Revolution. The setting you want to change for your auto posting would be right here. Allow ERA auto posting. This will allow you to enable the auto posting. You just want to select yes, then scroll all the way to the bottom and make sure to click Save in the bottom left. Once you have selected Save, you'll get a success message and you'll want to log out immediately and log right back in. Now that we have enabled the auto posting, we need to go check on that insurance payer. So you want to go back into your admin area and on the left select vendors/partners and insurance companies. Here will be your insurance companies and you'll want to single click the insurance company to open it. And you want to check in the bottom right the default payment method. This must contain EFT or an electronic funds transfer. If you have a different item selected, you can do the drop down, single click EFT, and make sure to scroll down and select Save in the lower left. That is all that is needed for the setup of the auto posting integration. Let's move on to how to post those payments. Your ERAs will come directly into Revolution as a pending payment. You can find these pending payments by accessing the accounting module and selecting payments. Within the payment screen, you want to make sure that you have pending selected. If you are a multi-location practice, you can select your location or the X to look for all locations and click your search button. Payments are collected from ClinicAid during a nightly download process, and they will come in here and they will have the payer name and the status of pending. If your practice has been submitting claims to ClinicAid prior to going live with Revolution EHR, the first time the auto posting process runs, the first payments will most likely include invoices from a previous remittance that may have already been paid in full, along with any non-paid invoices from new remittances. For this reason, we highly recommend that you deactivate your first pending payment. Here is my very first pending payment, and I'm going to deactivate it by selecting the red Cancel X to the far right. That will deactivate the first payment, and then you can manually post that first payment. Payments that come in from ClinicAid are mapped to a location and then grouped by the provider associated to the claims and invoices. For an example, if you have one location and 2 providers, you will have 2 pending payments. If you have 2 locations and 2 providers at each location, you will have 4 pending payments. Within our pending or saved payments, you can single click the payment to open it up and view more information. If this payment was successfully mapped completely, your payment amount in the top left here should match your payment amount in the bottom of this payment column. If all payments included in the remittance were not successfully mapped to an item in Revolution EHR, your amount column may display a 0. Looking at this payment, the EFT is that method we selected in the Vendors Partners Insurance Company screen. Your payment date is the date the payment was created. If you need to change this date for whatever reason, you're more than welcome to. The payment location displays the location associated to the invoices. If appropriate, you can select the drop-down and change the location as necessary. And your comment box indicates the time and the date the payment was generated. It also will display your doctor's first and last name. You can add in additional text if necessary. Below the comments box is a list of invoices. This will only display invoices that contain an item that was included in the remittance when it came in as an auto-posted payment. This does not include all active invoices for this payer, only the invoices that have an item included. Once you have your payment open and you've checked the accuracy of the payment against the accuracy of the payment in ClinicAid, you will want to make sure to select Apply Payments in the lower right. To find your ClinicAid payments, you will want to head into your ClinicAid account. Here is my ClinicAid, and I can find the remittance by selecting Reports and the Remittance Report list. I can use the search criteria above to search for the payment, and it will list below here in the grid that I can single click it to open it and view the accuracy of it compared to Revolution EHR. Now that we know this payment is correct, I'm going to select Apply Payments to apply the payment. You will get a success message in the top right letting you know that that payment was successfully applied. Now we're going to look at a few common troubleshooting issues that may happen within your payment. The first one will be if all payments were not mapped during the auto posting process and additional invoices will need to be added. We can tell that this payment came in as pending and something may be off with it as it came in as a zero amount. I can single click the payment to open it up. Now we can compare this payment directly to the payment we have listed within ClinicAid. If I need to add any additional invoices, let's say you made a change after you already submitted your claim and you have a different invoice that needs to be added to this payment, you can select your green Add Invoices button. Within this screen, you can select additional invoices. I'm going to click Search to pull up my entire AR for all locations for OHIP. I can double-click this invoice to add it to the payment, or I can individually checkmark the invoices and click the blue Select button. Once I have the invoices added, I will select the Close button. Now that I've added an additional invoice to this, I'm going to have to select my Items hyperlink to open up my item screen. I will select my pencil icon to the right of the item, enter in the amount we received from ClinicAid, and select Save. Once this is correct, I will change my payment amount in the top left to match what ClinicAid says and this payment column total. Now that the payment is done, I can select Apply Payments. Please note, when you apply a payment, you may get an error message indicating that the pending payment has either a paid or voided invoice attached to it. If that happens, you want to make sure to write down the invoice number, close that error message, save your payment, and then navigate to the Accounting module Invoices, remove your status, your location, and search for that invoice number. Let's go ahead and search for an invoice number so we can look at one. Once we've located the invoice, you can single click the invoice to open it up. If the invoice is paid and it's attached to that remittance, you will need to change the status from paid to active and select the check mark to confirm that change. If you have a voided invoice attached to the remittance, you will need to create a brand new invoice for that patient and then manually add it to the remittance with that green Add button. Another common thing you may see is having a payment for one provider at one location split between two pending payments. Let's take a look at that. We have two pending payments for the same provider. When this happens, you have two options. The first option would be to deactivate one payment and then change the other payment to include the missing data from payment 2. The other option you have is to update the payments and post both of them. If I wanted to do that, I would single click the payment for one, go back to my payment screen and single click the payment for the other. Here I can see that one of my patients ended up alone in this during the mapping process. I can put 1 of 2, and then on my other payment I can put 2 of 2. I'm going to update for the payment amount of the 206.13. And for this payment, I'm going to put in the amount that was divided out of the 25.15. Now we can just select Apply Payments for both payments to apply them both separately. We're going to keep working on this payment, so I'm not actually going to apply this one. Auto posting has no effect for transfers, write-offs, or overpayments. It's important to review all zero paid items and to make sure that you do any additional write-offs, transfers, or overpayments. I'm going to show you how to do an overpayment when you receive that from the insurance payer. The first thing you want to do when you notice an overpayment on your remittance is go into your admin area. On the left, select Data Configuration, Accounting, and Balance Write-Off Reasons. You want to make sure you have your overpayment listed here as a reason. I do have my Alberta overpayment, so I don't need to add in any additional ones, but you can by selecting your Add button in the top right. Once you have an additional write-off reason, you're going to go into the items for one of your patients. For this example, we're going to say that Alberta Health has overpaid us 4 cents on this remittance. What I'm going to do is add 4 cents here in the top. And then I'm going to go into a patient's items. I'm going to select the items hyperlink, change the payment amount, and add in my additional 4 cents. Now you see we have a red -4. I'm going to select my write-off, that new overpayment reason, and click Add Transfer Write-Off. Within this transfer column, I'm going to select my pencil icon and put in -4 cents. Notice my balance is now at 0 and I can select Save. Because we changed the items of the payment, we now have to change the payment amount. I'm going to select my pencil icon and change the amount to match my new items amount. Now that we're in balance here and we can see that our payment amount here matches our payment amount in the top left, I'm going to select Apply Payments in the bottom right. Once you have accounted for your overpayments, you can always see these overpayment amounts by going to your Reports module, selecting Accounting, Sales, and you can select Adjustments by Type. We can see that 4 cents, I'm going to single click the location name, the write-off, and here is my Alberta payment of 4 cents. This concludes our video on ClinicAid auto posting. Please remember to use our knowledge base and contact support for additional assistance.